There is a version of your life that already exists, unfinished, unclaimed, waiting, not a fantasy, not a vague hope, a structured possibility. But you will never stumble into it. You must follow a plan. Most men say they want their dream life, yet they treat their days as accidents. They wake without command. They work without direction. They rest without reflection. And then they wonder why their future resembles their past. Dreams without design decay. Let me ask you something that may disturb your comfort. If a stranger observed your daily habits for 1 month, could he predict your next 5 years? If the answer is yes, and you dislike what he would see, then you are not living by a roadmap. You are living by repetition. Repetition without intention becomes regret. Imagine dividing your future into steps, not leaps, not guesses. Steps. First, you define your definite chief aim in precise language, not success, not freedom, but measurable, dated, concrete, written clearly, read morning and night until your subconscious accepts it as law. That is step one. Most never complete it properly. They feel ambition, but never commit it to paper. They speak desire, but never fix it in form, and so their energy disperses. Step two, you calculate the value you must render in exchange for your dream. Money follows service. Influence follows contribution. Respect follows discipline. What skill must you master? What enterprise must you build? What problem must you solve? Dreams demand payment. Step three, organized planning. You break your aim into months, months into weeks, weeks into days. You assign daily action that moves the needle. One decisive task completed before distraction claims you. No drifting. Step four, auto-suggestion. You read your aim with emotion. You see it accomplished. You feel gratitude as if it were present. You train your mind to expect success rather than fear failure. Belief precedes achievement. Step five, persistence. Temporary defeat will arrive. Criticism will appear. Results may delay. But you adjust the plan, not the purpose. You remain fixed. This is where most abandon the road. They encounter resistance and call it a sign to retreat. It is not a sign to retreat. It is a test of seriousness. Picture yourself 6 months into the plan. Your habits have changed. Your speech has sharpened. Your associates are different. You no longer entertain conversations that weaken ambition. You no longer spend hours on tasks that do not serve your aim. Momentum builds quietly. Now imagine 12 months of this obedience. Your income shifts. Your confidence rises. Your health strengthens. Your relationships improve because you move with clarity. The dream life no longer feels distant. It feels constructed. This is not mysticism. It is method. Ignore the roadmap, and time will carry you wherever it pleases. Follow the roadmap, and time becomes your servant. There is something powerful about a man who follows a plan daily. He is not emotional about progress. He is consistent. He measures. He corrects. He persists. Others may call him lucky when results appear. They did not see the structure. You cannot live your dream life accidentally. You must design it deliberately. And once designed, you must follow it relentlessly. Ask yourself now, are you ready to obey a plan, or do you prefer to admire possibility from a distance? Because the roadmap works only for the obedient. You were not given imagination merely to fantasize. You were given it to construct, define, plan, act, persist, step by step. And the life you once described as a dream will become the natural outcome of disciplined thought and organized effort. Follow the plan. The destination is not far. It is simply structured. The life you call a dream does not begin in the marketplace. It begins at a desk with ink in solitude. Before Andrew Carnegie built steel empires, before Thomas Edison illuminated cities, before Henry Ford placed transportation within reach of ordinary men, there was a private decision written in thought and fixed in purpose. The dream life is never stumbled upon. It is drafted deliberately. Most men feel ambition but never formalize it. They speak of freedom, of wealth, of influence, Yet they never confine these words into measured form. Energy without confinement disperses. Desire without structure weakens. Therefore, the first movement of this roadmap is to draft the blueprint of your future self with ruthless clarity. You must write a definite chief aim that describes not what you admire, but what you will secure. Avoid phrases such as, "I want success." Write instead, "On or before this specific date, I will possess this measured income, derived from this defined service, conducted in this manner." The mind requires form. Vagueness breeds delay. Fix upon one central aim, not three, not five. Divided attention dilutes force. The man who attempts to build multiple destinies simultaneously constructs none. Controlled attention is the architect of achievement. When your aim is singular and written, your thoughts begin orbiting around it automatically. Include in your blueprint the price you will pay. No dream is granted freely. What discipline will you practice? What study will you undertake? What service will you render beyond requirement? By writing what you will give, you convert desire into exchange. Edwin C. Barnes stood before Thomas Edison not with resume in hand, but with a decision in mind. He had already declared internally that he would become a partner. That decision preceded opportunity. Your blueprint must precede circumstance. Read your written aim morning and night, not casually. Read it with conviction. Allow the image of the completed life to settle into your imagination. See the home, the enterprise, the influence. Feel gratitude in advance. The subconscious accepts repeated pictures as direction. Let this affirmation accompany the drafting. I move under written command. When temptation arises to postpone writing, repeat it. The act of writing separates dreamers from builders. Notice how posture shifts the moment the aim is fixed. You speak differently about the future. You evaluate opportunity differently. You decline distractions more readily. The blueprint alters identity before results appear. Without this step, 10 years can pass in scattered effort. With it, 5 years of wandering compress into 1 year of directed motion. Time responds to definiteness. Vague men drift. Definite men direct. Guard this blueprint carefully. Do not share it casually with those who speak cynically. Protect it until momentum becomes visible. Repetition strengthens belief. Belief strengthens action. When a stranger could read your aim and predict your direction, you have achieved clarity. And clarity alone eliminates half of failure. This is not mysticism, it is architecture. Before the walls rise, the plan must exist. Before the dream materializes, it must be drafted. And once drafted, read and guarded, your future self begins forming around it. You do not chase the dream life, you design it. And design begins here. Once the blueprint of your future self has been written, emotion must give way to arithmetic. Many men draft ambitious aims and then fail because they never calculate the price. They desire the reward, but hesitate before the exchange. Yet the law of compensation is exact. Riches, influence, and freedom respond only to service rendered in equivalent measure. The dream life must be earned through usefulness. Ask yourself plainly, what must I become to justify the life I have described? Not what must the world give me, but what must I give the world? This shift alone can save 15 years of complaint. The marketplace rewards contribution, not wish. If you seek larger income, you must enlarge your service. If you seek greater respect, you must increase your discipline. If you seek influence, you must multiply your value. Examine your present skills honestly. Are they rare or common? Are they refined or average? The man who cultivates specialized knowledge often commands greater compensation than the one who remains general in ability. Henry Ford did not merely build carriages. He revolutionized production. His service became indispensable because it solved a widespread problem efficiently. Select one primary skill connected to your aim and commit to its mastery. Dedicate daily time to deliberate study. 30 concentrated minutes repeated over months compounds into authority. Most men cease learning once comfortable. Comfort becomes ceiling. The dream life demands expansion. Render more service than you are paid for within your present position. This principle is not charity, it is leverage. The clerk who improves process, the salesman who increases territory, the manager who inspires cooperation. Such individuals gain influence beyond title. Influence attracts opportunity. Let this affirmation guide your exchange. I earn my dream through increasing value. Speak it when study feels inconvenient. Speak it when effort seems unnoticed. The law records what men ignore. Service beyond pay is seldom wasted. Form alliances with individuals who strengthen your thinking. A mastermind circle multiplies perspective. Andrew Carnegie organized minds as carefully as he organized steel. Association with ambitious thought accelerates exchange power. Observe successful men not with envy, but with inquiry. What problem did they solve? What service did they refine? Envy weakens ambition. Study strengthens it. The difference lies in direction of attention. Treat time as capital. Idle hours drain potential earnings. Guard your evenings for study and planning rather than distraction. The man who invests hours wisely builds compound advantage. The man who spends them carelessly forfeits opportunity. Calculate the measurable steps required to justify your aim. If you seek doubled income, what additional service must be rendered weekly? What additional prospect must be contacted daily? Arithmetic removes intimidation. Numbers clarify effort. You will notice how confidence increases when usefulness increases. Confidence is not borrowed from praise. It is earned through preparation. Prepared men negotiate firmly. Unprepared men hesitate. Many remain underpaid for decades because they never deliberately increased their exchange power. They hoped for promotion without sharpening ability. They expected recognition without rendering excess service. Years passed without deliberate improvement. You will not repeat that error. The price of your dream is discipline, study, and persistent service. Pay it willingly, and you compress years of stagnation into months of advancement. The blueprint drafted in the first stage now receives foundation. Foundation determines height. Weak exchange power limits aspiration. Strong exchange power invites elevation. Remember, income follows usefulness as shadow follows form. Increase the form, and the shadow must expand. Once the aim has been written and the price calculated, the question becomes practical. How does the dream move from paper into daily life? Many men fail not because their aim is weak, but because their days remain accidental. A written purpose without daily structure is like an architect's drawing never delivered to the builder. The third movement of this roadmap converts design into disciplined routine. Begin by dividing your definite aim into measurable periods. If the aim is to secure a certain income within 12 months, calculate what must occur each month. If monthly targets are clear, divide them into weekly expectations. If weekly expectations are defined, assign one decisive action for each day. This is how the invisible becomes visible. The day is the construction site of destiny. Guard the first hour after rising as sacred. Before conversation, before correspondence, before distraction, review your written aim. Read it slowly. See it completed. Then determine the single most important action that advances it. Complete that action before attending to lesser matters. The man who wins his first hour often wins his day. Eliminate scattered effort. Many exhaust themselves through activity that appears urgent, yet produces little advancement. Ask of every task, does this move me closer to my chief aim? If not, reduce or remove it. Controlled attention concentrates power. Diffused attention dilutes it. The law of habit force operates here with precision. Repeated daily action forms tendency. Tendency becomes character. Character shapes destiny. If you assign and complete one meaningful action daily, within 6 months you will observe measurable shift. Within 12 months, transformation becomes undeniable. Let this affirmation steady your discipline. Today builds my future. Speak it when tempted to postpone. Speak it when distraction invites comfort. Speak it when progress appears slow. The future is not constructed in bursts of enthusiasm. It is constructed in daily obedience. Establish a weekly review ritual. Each week, examine results without emotion. Did income increase? Did skill improve? Did service expand? If numbers lag, adjust method without reducing aim. Adjustment reflects intelligence. Retreat reflects fear. Design evenings deliberately. Reserve time for study, reflection, and planning. Idle evenings accumulate into years of regret. Structured evenings accumulate into authority. You will notice subtle changes. Associates may comment that you seem more focused. Conversations that once consumed hours no longer hold interest. You protect time calmly without apology. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. Momentum builds quietly. By month 3, habits feel less forced. By month 6, measurable progress appears. By month 9, others begin asking what changed. They may attribute improvement to fortune. You will know it was structure. Consider how many years are lost through repetition without design. If each day resembles the last, the next 5 years are predictable. But when daily structure aligns with written purpose, prediction changes. This stage alone can save 20 years of drifting effort. Instead of hoping circumstances improve, you command your schedule. Instead of reacting to events, you organize them. The blueprint becomes visible through habit. And habit, once aligned with purpose, does not require constant inspiration. It requires obedience. Obey the structure daily, and the dream life will not remain distant. It will rise brick by brick beneath your feet. Even with a written blueprint and disciplined daily structure, there remains one decisive factor that determines whether the dream life materializes or dissolves: belief. Many men organize plans outwardly while doubting inwardly. They act during the day and surrender in thought at night. Such division weakens momentum. Therefore, this stage concerns conditioning the mind to accept the new identity as natural rather than foreign. Your subconscious mind does not argue. It obeys repetition. If you have repeated thoughts of limitation for years, they have formed internal law. To replace them, you must repeat thoughts of capability with equal persistence. This is not idle imagination. It is mental installation. Read your written aim aloud with emotion each morning and each evening. Do not recite it mechanically. See the completed result. Picture yourself living the designed life. Hear the conversations. Observe the surroundings. Feel gratitude as though the achievement were present. The subconscious accepts vivid repetition as instruction. Practice gratitude deliberately before evidence appears. Gratitude prepares the mind to expect possession rather than lack. Expectation influences behavior subtly. A man who expects success negotiates differently than one who hopes timidly. Eliminate fear of criticism during this stage. Many abandon ambition because they anticipate judgment. Fear of criticism is one of the 6 ghosts of fear that paralyze initiative. Replace concern for opinion with respect for law. The law of exchange and persistence rewards obedience regardless of commentary. Adapt the self-confidence formula to your dream life. Declare daily that you are capable of achieving your definite aim because you are willing to render the required service. State that you will not permit temporary defeat to discourage you. State that you are becoming the person described in your blueprint. Let this affirmation strengthen identity. I am becoming the man I designed. Speak it when doubt arises. Speak it when fatigue tempts you toward old habits. Identity shifts gradually but firmly through repetition. Guard association carefully. Surround yourself with individuals who respect ambition and disciplined effort. If negative conversation dominates your environment, reduce exposure. The mind absorbs atmosphere silently. Observe how belief alters posture. When you truly accept that the designed life is attainable, your voice steadies. Your movements become purposeful. You no longer hesitate in opportunity. This change precedes visible results. Temporary defeat may attempt to challenge belief. Interpret it as instruction rather than evidence of failure. Edison tested thousands of combinations before success. Each attempt refined knowledge. So too must you treat delay as information. Understand how this stage alone can save decades of doubt. Many men possess plan and ability, yet never advance because they never fully believed themselves worthy of achievement. Doubt erodes effort. Belief strengthens it. Continue reading The Aim even when enthusiasm feels low, especially then. Repetition builds conviction beyond emotion. When the subconscious accepts your new identity, action aligns naturally. Discipline feels less forced. Persistence feels logical. The dream life ceases to feel distant and begins to feel inevitable.